Welcome, my name is Colleen Tauke and I'm the sewing specialist at Fons & Porter. In this Quilting Quickly tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the blocks, or the pieces that go into the quilt letters for Santa. Okay, we're going to be working with pre-cut 10-inch squares and 2 background fabrics, a tan and a cream. If you'd like to purchase the pattern so you'll know how many of these things you'll need, you can visit our website. Okay, we're going to be cutting 10-inch squares out of our background fabrics to pair up with all these wonderful Christmas prints. Now they're kind of a subtle Christmas print, so you'll be able to use it all season long. It's a great way to use these 10-inch squares. We are going to be using the print matched up with a cream color fabric, and we're going to put them right sides together, and we're going to be marking each of the light tan or taupe and cream color fabrics. I'm going to put it onto a rotating mat here so it's easy for me to adjust and not have to slide everything apart. We're going to mark the squares with diagonal lines that go corner to corner. Now I'm using a friction pen here. There has been some debate about using friction pen on fabric because it's heat sensitive. It will disappear when you hit it with an iron. And since we're only marking the back side of our fabrics, and this is going to be in the seam allowance, it really doesn't we won't worry about having that gel on our fabrics. Okay, this is going to be a line diagonally corner to corner that we're going to stitch 1/4 inch to each side of this line, and I've got one already stitched. We're going to be stitching in both directions. So our stitching, now I've already heat set this, and the line that divided it has already disappeared with the iron, but you'll see that I stitched 1/4 inch down, that invisible line there, and then back up, and in the other direction also. So we kind of have like a railroad track going in each direction. Now, I'll move this one out of the way here. Now we're going to be cutting. Now these are what the blocks look like, and there are only 4 pieces in here. But we're also going to be yielding 4 more pieces. So when we cut this up, we'll have enough to make 2 of the blocks in our quilt. The fun part about this is you could do this in a weekend. You could do it at a retreat. It's kind of mindless sewing because you're going to remember you marked each one of those blocks with a diagonal and you stitched on both sides. You don't really have to think too hard anymore. Okay, now we're going to take that same ruler that we used for marking and we're going to use it for our cutting. We're going to cut right down between the blocks, and we're going to be making 4 cuts all together. I'm going to rotate that so I'm always cutting in a clean direction away from my body, and down the center in this direction. It doesn't have to be overly precise as long as you're down between the stitching lines. The last 2 cuts, and you can cut them in any order here, as long as they stay together as a square. And remember, these are 10-inch blocks, so half would be 5. So I'm going to come in here and put the 5-inch line along the outer edge of my square. It should, if you've stitched precisely, you should have this, the ruler should fall right at the intersections of the X there in the center. That's one direction. Gently rotate that. One more cut, keeping everything aligned. Again, 5 inches down the side there, matched up. Should go right through the intersection of threads there. And our cutting for the block is done. Now when we open this up, you'll see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 and 8. So I'm going to take 4 of these together and we'll lay out. Once you've got these pressed open, you would press the seam allowances toward the red fabric or your darker print, be one of the darker taupes, and you'll have 4 pieces like this as triangle squares. I have some already pressed. I have 4 of them here. Remember, you'll have 8 total. So this is the block that we're trying to arrange. And you'll notice, if I were to fold this, it looks kind of like an envelope. That's the letters to Santa, the reason why. A lot of times names from our quilts come from the names of the blocks, and this is kind of what we call an envelope block. It looks like the backside of an envelope as you open it. Now it just takes the arrangement, follow the diagrams in your pattern to create that envelope look. You're going to join block to block here, and then join rows to make your letter envelope look. And remembering each time you do that process, here's another color combination. You get 2 of the same envelope blocks. So when you're all done, you're going to have 80 blocks. You're going to set them 8 by 10 rows, and you're going to want to spread your taupes and your reds apart. But remember, we used a taupe and a cream as backgrounds. So you'll notice the background fabrics alternate as they go across the block. So there are taupes in every other spot, creams. So you can see that in the diagrams in your pattern. For more of our videos, visit our website. Thanks for joining me today.